I'm still thinking about this feeling of meaning stuff that I've mentioned in the last couple of videos, which, if I can just rehearse it briefly, is this idea that Eugene Gendlins talked about, which is that when we say something is meaningful, it has that meaningfulness as two components. One is that there is a relationship either between symbols or between a symbol and an object, an established relationship, a regular and consistent relationship. But the other component is there is a felt sense of that meaning, which is entirely embedded within sentient beings like ourselves. It isn't just enough that we see the word cat written on a piece of paper and we see a picture of a cat and kind of intellectually know that they're connected. There's also a felt sense of their connection, which I guess we could call it understanding or the feeling of meaning, anyway, is how Gendlin puts it. But I'm just thinking about how those things kind of free float sometimes. I mean, I'm assuming that normally they come together, you know, the word cat and the object of a cat are just, you know, they're related and we know they're related, and the meaning and the feeling of meaning just coincide completely. But a lot of the time I think they kind of free float, or these two components exist apart from one another. And the really interesting bit, I think, is when you get the feeling of meaning without the correlation, without the actual correlation. That feeling of meaningfulness that we often get, at least I often get, particularly with something like coincidence. You know, lots has been said about coincidence. I know Jung writes about coincidence, or synchronicity as he puts it. Things happening at the same time, or things having some kind of relationship. Go on, pups, off you go. Seem to have a horse coming to say hello to me today. Hello, horse. Hello, mate. Wow, look at that. Where that came from. Anyhow, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, feeling of meaning. So coincidence, yeah, synchronicity, those kind of things, where two things happen simultaneously, perhaps in time, which feel completely connected. They feel completely connected, and they seem to acquire all this significance. I've got a friend following me now. Look at that. Go on, Phoebes. Phoebe, come on. Come away from the horse. And they feel terribly connected. I know James Redfield, who wrote the Celestine Prophecy, seems to make a big deal out of that. You know, and I've known people who've got very obsessed with coincidences and attribute all kinds of metaphysical and mystical properties to it, which seems to me to be just an evidence of the power of that free-floating component of meaningfulness, the feeling of meaning. In ridiculous ways, you know what I mean? I mean, we occasionally do lottery in our house, and it's almost always numbers that are birthdays or numbers that have some significance, as if you can prompt the world into being, into actually having those kind of consistencies, those symbolic consistencies, just by building the other component, the meaningful component, into your choices, which never works, of course. Easier again, look. Wow, this guy is so friendly. Come on, pups. Come on. I don't want to get my dogs to get kicked. Come on, you two. We'll have to get out this field. I think that's all I've got to say about coincidence, really. I'm a bit distracted by this horse. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, coincidence is, I would guess, would there be the feeling of meaningfulness which coincidence prompts, I guess, would be useful as a starting point to investigate the possibility of there being some kind of symbolic correlation and consistent correlation which underpins that coincidence. And that would be the beginning of logical or scientific inquiry, I guess. But it seems to happen. It seems to stop there for most of us. You know, we're very happy and thrilled just to have the coincidence without the analysis.